So there's an overwhelming amount of bad advice in the AI automation space right now, and it's causing almost everyone to take actions for a business stage they aren't actually in. The most common piece of advice thrown out there is pick a niche, build a list, and start cold outreach. But how can you reach out to prospects when you aren't even confident in delivering yet? Don't even know what is your ideal customer actually looks like, and you haven't proven that you can solve real business problems. In my experience, you are trying to execute a level 3 marketing tactics while being stuck at level 1 foundation. And skipping stages is the single biggest reason AI automation agencies burn out without making a single dollar. So in this video, I'll show you the 4-level roadmap to build this business sequentially without wasting time or money or doing the wrong actions in your business. And if you're here for the first time, my name is Surab and I run an AI automation agency based in Berlin, and I've been through all these stages that I'm going to teach you here, so I know exactly where you will be and what you need to do to graduate from this stage to the next. So let's start with the first stage. Let's say you are someone who are planning to start an AI automation business. You can build, maybe you have spent time learning tutorials, you've done some demo projects, but you cannot sell yet. So this is for me would be the level 1. All your energy and effort in this stage should go into one place only, which is getting real customer work. Your goal in this stage is to sell at least a couple of these one-off projects, anywhere between 500 to 3K per project. And I'm going to show you here where you can find these people so you can land these deals. So the most common issue that people in this stage are having is that they have the technical skills, but they have zero proof. So realistically, you don't have an idea what customers actually pay for. All your experience is based on some YouTube videos, and this is what you are taking and trying to go out there and sell. Very bad advice here at this stage would tell people to start cold outreaching, because you don't even know who pays for what and what are customers willing to spend. What I believe is your focus should be is to try to get a couple of work for free, maybe the first 1 or 2. This is if you have businesses in your network that you can reach out to on LinkedIn, etc. You are not trying to get them to pay you yet, but what you're trying to see is that are you able to provide value for businesses based on your skills? And of course, to try to get a couple of testimonials, because this is super important. If you are ready to start to get money for what you actually do, then the next step that I would recommend you is to start to apply on Upwork. For me, this is the most beginner-friendly platform to get work really, really quick within 30 days of reaching out. Why do I say Upwork? Upwork has a lot of advantages and disadvantages. Advantages are everybody on this platform, if they are a client, they are looking for someone to hire. So they are ready to hire you within literally 7 days. It's better than reaching out to a lot of strangers and bugging them and trying to interrupt them to let them see your services, which what happens in cold emails. Here, you don't need to convince somebody to hire you. Here, you don't need to convince somebody that they have a problem and you need to solve it. They already know and they are looking for help. You just need to convince them that you are the one to pick. So it's a much less competition. So it is less competition compared to cold outreach, in my opinion. So your goal would be to send 10 to 15 tailored proposals per day. Try to stand out by making beautiful Loom videos, personalization, etc., wherever you need to do. And you need to do this for at least 30 days. After you send all of these for 30 days, you can then reflect and see what worked and what didn't work, and then adjust your pitches or your offer. Other areas that you can look into, which is communities. So you can find a lot of school communities that are free. You can add a lot of value. So post a couple of posts in each of these community telling them about a problem that you managed to solve, how you did it with automation, etc. The same is for network, any live meetups that you have in your city. There's an app called Luma. I'm sure this app is also available in your city. It has a lot of different events, including tech. So try to go to these events, provide value, meet founders. For example, in Berlin, we have here Founders Hub Berlin, which I, funny enough, started. And a lot of people come here who are founders and pitch their services. Some people are great with ads. Some people are great with AI automation. And then you start to pitch these guys. And some of them are making $1 million a year already. So it attracts a very high quality people that would need these automations. So you can find something similar in your city. And of course, as I said, if you have ex-colleagues, etc., you can try to sell them even for free, just so you can build in the reps. So at this stage, everything's going to be messy. Probably you're going to get a lot of different requests from each customer, and you're never going to know, hey, what am I specialized in, etc. But this is okay because right now you're just building the reps. You are learning how to sell first because you don't know how to sell yet. So on every call, you would write down their words for the problem, and this would help you to close future sales calls because you can speak their language. Right now, you don't even know their language. And you are learning how to build production-ready workflows. So in this case, you need to keep a log of every job, see what worked and what didn't work, and try to separate the hype from the real value that customers are paying for. Because when you start delivering for real customers, you will notice that the API is breaking. You will notice that now I need to roll it out for 5 employees. I don't know how to do that. And all of these new levels gets unlocked for the delivery and also for the sales. But we try to minimize the number of variables that we need to control. So here you're not controlling marketing because the marketing is done for you through Upwork. And all what you're trying to learn at this stage is, can I sell better and can I build better? Now, how do you graduate from level 1 to go to higher levels? You graduate when you have delivered 5 projects minimum. You've gathered at least 3 testimonials. Ideally, they should all be 5-star reviews. So you over-delivered for these customers. And you have absolute confidence that you can deliver projects and provide value for customers. Once you have this, then you can move up to the next stage. Now, this is the level 2. In level 1, as I said, you are making a couple of one-off projects. Maybe you made already your first 10K selling AI automations, but nothing is recurring. Nothing is productized. Every new project feels like it's absolutely new to you, and you are struggling to make this recurring revenue, and you're struggling to make your sales easier. And this is where you should invest in the productization. So what does that productization mean? You try to look at everything you have sold, all the end-to-end workflows, all the dashboards, etc., and you try to find common themes between the customers that you have solved it to. So any problem that keeps showing up, any workflow that you have solved multiple times, this is where you need to do some soul searching and define a service that you would now sell for a fixed fee price. So here's what to do. Review your last 10 jobs, find one workflow that you kept rebuilding, and turn it into an offer. This offer needs to be a fixed scope. So a fixed scope, fixed price, you know when you're going to deliver it, how long it's going to take, etc. So it's like a menu, so the customers can just choose from the menu. And you build it basically one time, and you customize only part of it for each customer. And this usually comes after you have sold multiple times to many different customers, so you can have this clarity. It does not come before. The clarity does not come from you thinking about it or chatting to ChatGPT about it. It comes from real customers that you have sold to. And here at this stage where I would say, yes, pick one niche and one offer for this niche and go all in on it. If you want to make your sales easier and if you want to make delivery easier. But this is level 2. It does not start like that. And only at this stage, I would recommend you starting doing some cold outreach with maybe blasting emails, etc. So sending 20 to 40 emails a day, maybe start with slower. Of course, cold emailing has a lot of knowledge. So you need to warm up the emails first and then send these blasts every day. You can start maybe also reaching out for people on Instagram, etc. And since you know your customer and what are they struggling with, you can write better copy because cold emails is all about writing good copy. You need to know what titles to write to make them open. You need to know how to attract them with a good copy in the email. You need to have a lot of testimonials so they can trust that you can help them with. And you need to personalize it with some Loom outreach, etc. And if you're starting out and you don't have any of these, nobody's going to trust a random stranger who just sent them an email. So they wouldn't even waste their own time to help you. Even if you offer your thing for free, because you're asking for their time, which is already money for them. So of course, before you start in cold outreach, make sure that you have some sort of a case study. Ideally from the ones that you have helped through Upwork or the ones you have done for free, someone that you actually provided value for. And when you're selling some sort of productized service, you don't sell the automation, but you sell the outcome. How many hours you saved or how much money the customer can make. Nothing else. Don't talk about agentic OS. Don't talk about speed to lead or any of these very specific technical terms. Only understand 2 things. How much money is it gonna make me and how much time is it gonna save me? That's it. Only focus on these in your copy. Now, how do you level up from this? From making 2 to 10K per month to making even more? If you have sold the same offer 5+ times at the same price, and you would know what objection they have and wrote down what is the sales script that you need to sell this exact offer, this is where you can now move to the level 3 of the AI automation agency. Now let's talk about level 3. And in my experience, This is at this level where you can start thinking about creating content and a personal brand for your company. Personal brand, your agency name, etc. This doesn't work as well. You need to be the person behind the personal brand. But rather than you always reaching out to people, although it might be working, this is where I see at this level, you are able to influence people to work with you as well. And in my experience, this attracts even higher quality customers and build your reputation in the industry. At this level, when you feel like, hey, I'm an expert and I can speak about this particular topic in my sleep, this is what I would recommend you to go into the influence part. And in the influence part, you start publishing content. At this stage where you're making this amount of money, you can then start talking about what you do. So what could be a focus for you? The focus is to start creating content about 3 to 5 times per week, only on one platform that your buyer is actually sitting on. Here, I want you to think about consistency rather than production value. So just try to publish as much content as possible, as raw as possible, similar to here, and just talk about your expertise, talk about your experience, what you have built for customers, how you can help someone also achieve similar results, etc. That's everything you need to do. And in your content, give away the how. And don't worry about it because they would not do it themselves. They would still want to hire you to do it for them, but they want to see that you can demonstrate that you can do this for them as well. And at this stage is where you try to capture the attention into something that you own. It could be a newsletter, it could be a community, etc. So a place where you can nurture these people. And if they don't buy from you right now, they can buy for you maybe in 6 months. And this happens to me very, very often, that someone doesn't buy immediately, but they buy some point in the future. So I'm not saying here if cold outreach has been working for you, I'm not saying to stop in it and start to do inbound content, saying that you should do this hand in hand at this stage to start to build your personal brand even more. And it is at this stage where you can look into your productized offer and try to think of additional offers that you can add to the businesses. Because I notice when you start doing the influence game, you're going to be attracting customers that are usually bigger than the ones that you've been servicing. So for bigger customers, what really helps is some sort of an audit or even having a retainer or monthly subscription to be their AI technical partner, for example. So if you're making between 10 to 25K a month, probably you're either doing it on your own or you're working with one freelancer and you can achieve these results. Now, how do you go from level 3 to level 4, which is in my experience, the highest level before you start scaling like crazy? When you have consistent inbound leads arriving, so you have a lot of pitches and customers coming from your content, you notice that you don't have to pitch them so hard because you create so much value, because you created so much valuable content on, let's say, YouTube, that they already pre-sold on you. And it's honestly the best sales calls ever. And once you have some predictable revenue enough to risk some money, then I would recommend you to go to level 4, which is to scale this business model and make even 20K, 25K plus per month. And in my experience, you do this by having the delivery covered. So you start to have some team, maybe you hire your first employee or freelancer, etc. But you want to scale even more. And your job is to run the business. You can be creating content. You can scale this also with only content. But in my experience, ads has been an amplifier. So if you have content that show you something is working, content is not always reliable, unfortunately. So some videos blow up, some videos don't blow up. So one month you might be having 50 leads, another month you have 0. But once you have a perfect conversion mechanism and you want to have it very predictable, because now you have employees that you need to pay for, etc., ads is the way to go because it's very consistent, it's very predictable. There are some things that you need to worry about, like, am I creating good ad creatives, etc.? What is my cost per lead? But this is the way that every successful company I have met scaled beyond 25K. So at this stage, you should be focusing on scaling what the organic is converting. So if you have an offer that you saw people are not even buying, even who are really warm to you, then don't spend ads on that, because converting cold people is much, much more difficult than converting warm people. So only convert people have converted through your organic content. A very good way that people do this is if you're creating short content, for example, on Instagram or YouTube, you can convert this into ads. And this is the best proven way to keep ad costs low while getting customers on the other side. You need to focus here on creating funnels. So funnels like good landing pages with video sales letter, etc. And then adding people to book a call. And here where it becomes important to understand what is your cost per lead, what is your show up rate, what is your close rate, what is your LTV, how much churning are you having, etc. Because you are running a business, so these metrics are important at this stage. And of course, it's very important at this stage to hire delivery. You shouldn't be doing delivery if you're scaling up to 25K. So hire your first employee, or maybe 2 or 3. They take care of the delivery, and your job is to run the business. Do the marketing, do the sales calls, etc. But the delivery is covered. You're not going to be wasting your time fixing some APIs or connecting some stuff if you're at this stage. And at this stage is where the business becomes a loop, where you have ads funneling into content, you make some new case studies which make even more content, you have delivery and case studies, and then each basically an engine that is running itself. And you can keep doing this starting from 25K to 100, even like millions per year. This is what I saw every successful agency have done. And one agency that I'm working with, they are spending around 1 million per year on ads just to keep the things up and running and get a consistent flow of leads. And they have about 500 employees. And what do you think is the level 5 after you keep doing these for maybe 5-10 years and maybe you're sick of the agency model? This is where the next level would be to sell your business. Yes, agencies do sell. Of course, if they are not dependent on you. If you have a team for delivery, maybe you hire salespeople at some point, marketing people, you can sell the business. And this would be the next level. So I hope this video gave you some clarity on what are the different levels of starting an AI automation business. I hope it showed you what level are you currently at and what you should be focusing on to graduate to the next level. Do me a favor, write down in the comments which level are you currently on and what was your takeaway from this video. And if you want my help to map this out for your personal situation and help you graduate the next step with my help and accountability, make sure to check the link in the description. School community that help you achieve exactly that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.